I'm Dr. Fiona Lovely, and this is the Not Your Mother's Menopause podcast. I'm taking the taboos of menopause and perimenopause and bringing light to the dark. No bullshit, no shame. It's time for us to gain a new paradigm in female health, out with the old and in with the new, and I'm bringing fresh perspectives from someone in the arena. I've been practicing women's health for nearly 20 years, and I'm spilling the tea on what it means to live at midlife, knowing that the best is yet to come. I'm sharing my Gen X approach to living through this transition. Sassy, a bit sweary, and always honest. Tactical tips and instantly usable information is my aim. I hope to make you laugh and that you learn something new that helps you embrace the change. Together, we bring power to the peri. Onward to the podcast. You're tuned in to the Not Your Mother's Menopause podcast. I'm Dr. Fiona Lovely. Thanks for spending a little time with me today. My guest today is Dr. Shivani Gupta, Ayurvedic practitioner and turmeric expert, author of the upcoming Hay House book, The Inflammation Code, available for pre-purchase now. Let me tell you, talking about inflammation is such a contemporary issue. It is very relevant for women in menopause and perimenopause, and you will want this book. So go and order yourself the book when it comes out. I'm so excited to see it myself. Our conversation today really centered around what it means to consider the Ayurvedic perspective for health, what your dosha might be, and what Shivani calls the super spices, things like turmeric, ashwagandha, fennel, cardamom, etc. These beautiful, flavorful spices that have amazing health properties. And we spent quite a bit of time talking about the different spices, the different ways they can be used, how they can be used for sleep, or hot flashes, or weight gain, or a number of other things. She took her Ayurvedic training in India. She did it immersively in India, which is a pretty cool story when she tells the story of how she found herself wanting something different than what the Western medicine doctors were offering her. Shivani talks about the 6 pillars of Ayurveda. Pretty interesting stuff. You're going to want to pay attention for that. And what our constitutions are, the so-called doshas, and why turmeric is such a superpower when it comes to how we can help ourselves heal. Let me properly introduce my guest today. Dr. Shivani Gupta stands at the forefront of the health and wellness industry, renowned for her unique approach in guiding women to overcome chronic health challenges such as joint pain, weight gain, and autoimmune symptoms. Her expertise in Ayurveda, coupled with a Western perspective, empowers individuals to embrace self-care, understand doshas, and pursue holistic health, ultimately reclaiming vitality and well-being. Having battled chronic illness in her youth, she turned to her heritage, discovering Ayurveda's power to transform health, a revelation that led her to profound academic and practical exploration. Holding a master's in Ayurvedic sciences and a Ph.D. in turmeric, she studied under esteemed Ayurvedic gurus in India. Her research led to the development of the Inflammation Solution Program, a pioneering approach advocating for Ayurvedic practices integration into functional medicine. With Dr. Gupta's efforts extend to advancing scientific understanding and acceptance of Ayurveda, turmeric and circadian rhythm as part of any protocol to achieve vibrant health. I love this conversation. I learned a ton. Can't wait to get some of these things going for myself. So without further ado, here is my conversation with Dr. Shivani Gupta. If midlife has you feeling more wired, more tired, and more emotionally sensitive than you used to be, you're not alone. Perimenopause and menopause place real pressure on the nervous system and the body's ability to stay balanced, which is why so many women feel off, even when we're doing everything right. That's why I want to introduce you to Leela Quantum Tech. Leela Quantum Tech creates quantum energy and frequency based products designed to support your body's natural self regulation and internal balance, especially during periods of stress, transition, and change. One of their most advanced developments is the Heal 360 frequency. It combines over 45 molecular frequencies with etheric frequencies, creating a full spectrum energetic blueprint that supports the body physically, emotionally, and energetically. This isn't just theoretical. Their technology is backed by 40 plus placebo controlled scientific studies. Leela Quantum's technology has been shown to support 50 to 100% faster cellular recovery, boost ATP or energy production by up to 29%, and will improve red and white blood cell health within minutes. Independent placebo controlled studies also show a 13 times increase in important alpha waves into the limbic system, while stress related brain activity drops by 80%, helping the body stay resilient in a high stress, wired world. Their Heal 360 line is available in easy to use formats like capsules, cards, water bottles, and clothing, so it fits into your real life. For women in midlife, that kind of support matters. Midlife isn't something to push through, it's something to support. Use the code LOVELY at checkout to receive 10% off your next purchase at leelaq.com. That's LEELAQ.com, and experience what full spectrum energetic support can feel like. This is the Not Your Mother's Menopause podcast. I'm Dr. Fiona Lovely, and today my guest is Dr. Shivani Gupta. She is a turmeric expert and an Ayurvedic practitioner, and she is here to school us. Welcome to the show, Shivani.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Well, I've been looking forward to this conversation for a good long time because we met like 7 months ago, right? And as we were just talking about, we were hanging out at a party in Vegas. I mean, so cliche. And we were in the room with all the cool kids.
We were. It was awesome.
Well, thanks for being the cool kid in the room today and that day.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah, you bet. You bet. Okay, so I need you to give us like the starter course on Ayurveda. But before you do that, can you please tell us your story? How did you get to be where you are doing what you do?
Sure. So I grew up in Houston, Texas to immigrant parents, and we'd go to India every year of my life to go see my grandparents and my cousins. Unfortunately, I learned that I am kind of like the weak link of the family. I would get airsick, carsick, seasick. You eat a bite of food that's off, I'm down for the count. Can't have a sip of water or a bite of chutney that will just obliterate my gut. And so for years, I kept wondering, why am I the sick one? And the way doctors managed me in India and in the US was antibiotic. So probably took 20 rounds of amoxicillin, then it was like another 50 rounds of augmentin. No one really thinking, hey, we're handling this girl with a lot of scripts. My parents had no realization because back then that's just how you managed pediatrics and kids. So fast forward to college. I was in India. I was disastrously sick. And I was going to leave back to college soon. And I was in India, and this Dr. Gupta, who tries to manage me as I can barely walk or talk, and they're not sure should they hospitalize me at that point. Nothing would stay in. He goes, I have a prescription for you. Here you go. And I said, you know what? You just put 13 items down in your handwriting. You need to explain what that is. And
Yeah.
my mom was like, excuse me, we don't talk to Dr. Guptas or men that way or doctors. And I was like, we'll talk to him however we need to. I'm the punk American today who just needs to understand what you're about to do to me. She was like, oh God, okay. And I go, so doctor, what is that list? He goes, well, that's an antibiotic. It's a really strong one. And then those 12 medications manage your symptoms. And I was like, a voice inside of me literally screamed and said, no,
Yeah.
no, you're not doing it again. And so I looked at him and I said, first of all, why don't we dumb the antibiotic down a couple notches? Let's not explode my gut. Secondly, you never said probiotic, and I'm not taking any of the other stuff. I'll manage my symptoms. And it was just this moment of true sovereignty and power and
Oof.
deciding to take care of myself and taking control of my health.
Hmm.
And I looked at my mom and I was like, you know what? we're going to go around India and figure out what this yoga Ayurveda thing is, because this is not working anymore. And so my parents, who were really burnt out, successful entrepreneurs, humored me, and we traveled all through India on this quest to
Wow.
sit in every Ayurvedic detox center, learn from every Ayurvedic guru. And thankfully, my dad was a biohacker obsessed with health 30 plus years ago. And I learned so much, and I realized this system had all the golden nuggets, the treasures we needed, but we had no idea about them in the West. And so my whole mission since college has been bring Ayurveda home to where I live so that we can all benefit from it because I have healed my gut. I have an immune system of steel. I know what to do from Ayurveda out of the toolkits to stay vibrant and healthy. And that's my mission is no one should suffer like that. No one should have autoimmune conditions. No one should have such big struggles the way I had.
Yeah, wow. Excuse me. That is okay. You and I are going to have the conversation about my yoga throat.
Yeah,
Yogurt throat. So that is the way to get that education is you actually are immersed in it. How amazing. And I'm sure your mother wanted to crawl into a hole when you spoke to the doctor
she
that
did.
way.
She was like, oh, so disrespectful. I was like, and
Yeah,
I need help. We
and you
can't
did.
listen to authority and then screw me over again. Needed a new plan
Yes.
forward.
I love it because this is the thing. We have to find our voice, right? We have to find the power and use you called it sovereignty was the word you used. I love it. We are not taught how to be sovereign around our health. And you found that in Ayurveda. Interesting. Interesting. Can you tell us about Ayurveda?
For sure. So, Ayurveda is an ancient system of medicine, health, and healing from India that's over 5,000 years old. And the word Ayurveda means the science of life. So, it's this entire preventive system of health that was written into these sacred texts that shows us that the goal is really body, mind, and spirit in alignment. The goal is longevity, but truly quality of life. And so, every practice that Ayurveda teaches is built around that tenet. And so from Ayurveda, I teach my 6 pillars that I find most important, which are number one, your dosha or your elemental design, which is what I'm calling it in my new book, The Inflammation Code, which comes out shortly with Hay House.
So exciting.
And
Can't
so,
wait to
oh,
read it.
thank you. And so, elemental design is there to show us we are made up of elemental forces. We are bio individual and we're all different. And so, when you take that dosha idea and then apply it into every area of your life, then you have a real custom plan to win at your health, which I think we all need. We're doing a lot of one size fits all and not
Mhm.
customizing to who we are.
Yeah.
Then I teach circadian clock. The circadian clock came from Ayurveda. And in wellness and biohacking, we're like circadian life, circadian lifestyle. Yeah, but understand circadian medicine and the true deep intentions. Ancient Ayurveda said live in rhythm with nature. Rhythm of nature is a whole new, deeper idea than just what we talk about in modern day times. We talk a lot about sleep to clear the lymphatic system because we're pretty obsessed with gut and lymph. Then we talk a lot about your diet and how the sattvic diet, the yogic diet, is there to help you stay in balance with your dosha, your constitution, also to be anti inflammatory and focus on nutrition. We can't all just eat these mono diets that we're eating and then expect the body to respond well. Then my fourth pillar is gut health. We're obsessed with gut, the gut digestive fire. Gut is everything. Gut is hormone health. Gut is inflammation. So I teach a lot about gut health as well and those practices that we can have on a daily basis. Then I teach about self care. We have a self care rhythm that you can use on a daily basis with tools that help detox you on a very daily basis so that when you go to do your seasonal or annual detoxes, that's much easier. And then finally, I love teaching the super spices. My PhD was on turmeric. I'm obsessed with that one spice and its potency, but I'm also really into the adaptogens and all the other super spices and the applications those have for our health. And most especially those applications into Western medicine and how we can kind of shift the dialogue into trust and usage of natural solutions.
Mm. Okay, you mentioned two super spices, turmeric and ashwagandha.
Yeah.
Yes. Ooh, that's a good one. They're both so good. My God, how do you pick a favorite is the question I have.
Turmeric's my lifelong favorite. I married turmeric when I did the PhD, but I've talked about turmeric for 10 years now.
Yeah.
So my dream is to do another PhD on ashwagandha and then talk about ashwagandha and its power too in this life.
Amazing. That's just amazing. Ashwagandha is my first line when I've got a patient that isn't sleeping but isn't ready to take the hormones yet. That's the one I go to. Usually there's a stress imbalance. Anyways, I'm sure you have some thoughts on I mean, share your thoughts on ashwagandha. Where are you using that? And then of course we're going to have the bigger turmeric conversation.
Sure. So ashwagandha is such a powerful adaptogen. As you know, if you're stressed and anxious, it brings you down a few notches. If you're low and feeling the blues, it lifts you up. So it just functions as this beautiful thermostat. And I think of that as plant magic or plant medicine. We're from nature. This is a solution from Mother Nature. So when our body receives it, our body knows how to take that solution and go use it for its highest and best use. I've seen that with turmeric as well. Turmeric is adaptogenic. So with ashwagandha, I love it for neurocognitive support. Talk
Mm,
about brain fog and
mhm.
neurocognitive support needed on board post anytime after your 30s or in your 30s. So I've been using it since my 30s. I think it's such a powerful tool for stress resilience. A lot of times we don't realize how stress is conscious or unconscious and the toll it's taking on gut, on our hormone system, on our brain. And so I use it as a stress resilience tool anytime I'm going into a season where I'm going to go 200 miles an hour. If I'm traveling more, anytime I need resilience, I just take ashwagandha and have it there and ready for that. If you want sleep support, you can take ashwagandha. It's a powerful sleep support as well. But you can also just take it during daytime for stress. You just wouldn't high dose it quite as much. So yeah, I use it for a number of different reasons. The fact that it's adaptogenic and really goes where the body needs it to go in women's health, I think that we're going to keep learning how it's supportive for anxiety, depression, so many mental health things that we are using drugs for right now. And we have science that shows ashwagandha is as effective.
I love that. It's one I've used for a long time. There are other names for it too. Do you know what they are?
With amnias,
Oh, withania. Yes,
yeah,
yes, yes. Yeah, we
yeah.
all pronounce
And we
that one
call
a
it
little
like the
different.
horse's mane, like the strength of 100 horses. It has a
I
lot
love
of
that.
names in Ayurveda around the strength that it gives you because of that resilience that it gives you.
Okay, this is amazing because literally I just took some this morning and I thought, oh, I'm getting low. I best be ordering some. But now that I hear you talking about it, I'm like, you don't want to go without this one. It's so powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with when we talk about women's health, as women, our stress resilience, I believe, goes down over time. So we
Uh-huh.
need a little more support to keep us lifted up and to keep us supported. We know it also helps to lower cortisol. And so
Hmm.
when we want those calmer moods, we don't want those anxiety levels to go up, it helps. We know it can help with hot flashes as well, which is really great. So it's not just for stress, but hot flashes, it can cut that down by up to a third. And then we know it's good for sleep. And I have a lot of people using it for sleep right now, which is great.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. We'll take whatever we can on that whole sleep front as women in menopause, right?
I agree. I became obsessed with sleep a few years ago. My team said, we need you to not talk just about turmeric. Come on, like we can't say turmeric 2 billion times a year on your Instagram. What other topic are you into? And I said, it's interesting. When I was researching turmeric for orthopedics, a lot of orthopedic patients don't sleep. And what they don't realize is if you're not going to sleep, you're not going to clear inflammation. And so I made a video series about Ayurveda tips for inflammation and sleep, or sleep for inflammation, really. And
Mm.
I fell in love with sleep practices. I put them all into my own life. I learned what profound sleep can do for you, which is really addictive, like that incredible sleep. And then I developed a tea formula and a tea gummy just to ensure people sleep well. So when people tell me they can't sleep, I'm automatically like, are you walking enough? What time do you eat? I just want to investigate and find the solution for their sleep so they're not getting bad sleep. Because to me, you won't clear a lymphatic system. We can accumulate up to 3 pounds of waste in the brain throughout the year. That just shows you the level of waste you can accumulate. Now imagine how much we can accumulate in the body just
Hmm.
sitting on it. And
Hmm.
then we've got inflammation. So it's like
Yeah.
a cycle.
Yeah. And a cluster of things that could go sideways. So you mentioned your sleep tea and sleep gummy. Without giving away the secrets, what have you got? What's in there?
So I have always been obsessed with tea. And I hate when I go to the store and the tea formulas are super basic. They're good. I use bagged tea. But sometimes it's like, all right, you're just a chamomile tea. You're just chamomile lavender. Like, do you understand how many herbs in Ayurveda will give you good sleep? And so I worked with a tea sommelier and I developed an Ayurvedic tea that has Brahmi, ashwagandha, cardamom, osmanthus, the powerhouses. And then she put a lot of florals on top to hide those really distinct tastes of Indian
Yes.
Ayurvedic herbs, because that's usually the problem is the taste. So we made this tea so decadent that it's the perfect sleep hygiene tool. For me, it's the perfect ritual. When I start my evening, I take my cup, I'll add my strainer, I'll take a mindful moment. I know the minute I start steeping deep sleep tea, I'm preparing for bedtime. And then I get in bed with my cup of tea and I sip it and I don't get up from bed. I just drink my tea, chill, do my bedtime practices, and go to bed. So, deep sleep tea alone has helped a lot of people sleep better. And then the gummy, I met this incredible gummy factory that doesn't use gelatin. It's allulose and pectin. I didn't want to put animal products into my product line. I'm vegetarian. And it's L-theanine, melatonin, and GABA. That's it. Three
Nice.
ingredients in a gummy. And it's clean made. It's got blueberry as the flavoring. What I find cool is you can take two gummies to get a great night's sleep. So let's say I have a few nights of not enough sleep or not enough good sleep. I'll take two just to like settle into a perfect sleep cycle that I will then maintain myself. Or let's say you've got too much going on in your mind and you wake up in the middle of the night. You can take one gummy. Let's say you woke up at 3. You can take one gummy, go to bed by 3:30. Takes about 20-30 minutes to work, and then get 2 to 3 more hours of sleep. I love that because I've met so many people who are waking up in the middle of the night and
Mhm.
can never go back to bed, and that's so unfair. So that one really excites me, the fact that it can be that tool. So I use it a lot for travel, jet lag, and everything I just named.
Yeah, I love that. Anything we can do to get the sleep is a. You're right that what did you call it? Deep and profound sleep. That is it is it's addictive. Nobody messes with my sleep time in this house. Like probably 3 times a year at max, my bedtime is interrupted by
Wow.
something late. I just don't. I'm not tempted by it. Maybe because I let it be that for so many years I didn't sleep all that well.
Yeah.
Now that I've got the magic, I'm like, do not interrupt sleep time. Do not call me after 7:30 in the evening. I'm not talking to you. It's not happening.
I love it. I think we have to set guardrails and
Hmm.
set these hard and fast rules around sleep. Anytime I don't, I'm not as
Hmm.
happy. I'm not as
Hmm.
joyful. I don't have the vibrant health. I don't have my vibration. And so
Hmm.
that's where I became obsessed with sleep. Like, how can we honor sleep,
Yep.
build ritual around sleep,
Yep.
and dive into deeper sleep so that
I
we
love it.
have the energy bank we need for life?
Yeah, because when you don't sleep, you made a really good point. It's a compromise. What your experience the next day is a compromise from what it could be, right?
Correct.
So, yeah, I think that's a really good way to look at it. Okay, before we get too far away from the doshas conversation, so I started off this conversation before we pressed record for the listener with Shivani. I said, I've got a frog in my throat because I just had a yogurt snack. And then made
Yep.
a joke and said to her, that means you probably have already guessed what my dosha is. So,
Yep.
can you, using that as an example, if it's helpful,
Mhm.
let's talk about the doshas. What does it mean? How is it relevant? Share all
Sure.
the things.
For sure. So when we talk about doshas from Ayurveda, we're saying we all have constitutions or energy types that make us different. So there's three kinds of doshas, and I really brought this into that bigger concept of elemental design so that we'd all understand nature, according to Ayurveda, has 5 elements: air, ether, fire, water, earth. And if you look out in nature, you see those 5 elements out there. And those 5 elements make you. And the more you can stay in balance and harmony with all of those elements, the better off you are. Now, we go through different seasons of life where we get really imbalanced. Having kids threw me off. It was a huge physiological change. And so, understanding where you stand and how to bring yourself into balance is the key. And so we talk about 3 doshas: Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Here in the West, we pronounce them Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. And so a vata person tends to be thin and wiry. This is someone who's taller or shorter than most of their demographic. Maybe they have smaller eyes or an oval, longer face. They tend to have thin wrists, thin bones, almost a little bit more frail sometimes. A vata person, that's their physical body. Their mental, emotional state is 100 miles a minute. This is a busybody. Why? Because if you imagine like a ceiling fan, which is what's creating air and movement, it's always in motion. It never stops. It can have a very dry effect. And so when it comes to a vata person, we talk about their imbalances being going too far too fast, not finishing what they start, maybe having constipation due to dryness, maybe having insomnia. Again, the mind goes 200 miles a minute and doesn't settle for them, always being a busybody and always in motion, which can lead to anxiety. And so a vata person has certain homework from Ayurveda to stay grounded and stay balanced and stay well. Then you've got the pitta person. And just know that in the doshas, you can have a primary and a secondary, or you can have all three. You can be three doshic. A pitta person tends to be medium body. This is someone who has reddish skin tone, reddish hair, maybe early graying. This is someone who isn't on the thin and wiry side and isn't on the stronger side of kapha. They're right in the middle. Their mind tends to be passionate, sharp, ambitious, go-getter. They're people who are so passionate about their path, almost forgetting that there's a present life to live in other than that path. Pitta people are all fire. They have some water, but really they're all fire. So it is all about goals and dreams. But when imbalanced, a Pitta person is like a volcano. They erupt on the people closest to them. They get angry, they get hangry, they burn out, they erupt. And so a Pitta person's job is to stay cool, calm, and collected. And in the summer, keep it cool because we have certain seasons where Pitta people get really imbalanced. Then the final dosha is called Kapha. And Kapha people are bigger boned, stronger. This is someone who is got early, like they have curly, oilier hair, maybe oilier skin, rounder face, rounder feature, rounder eyes. This is someone whose template, like their personality is kind and giving and loving. They're very one thing at a time. They're very caretaker, Mother Earth energy. This is your grandma energy, or this is your man who's like a mountain. Because Kapha is earth and water. And so Kapha people have to watch out because of all that moisture. They're susceptible to issues with the lungs. They have issues if they have too much dairy. It can really slow down the system.
Yeah.
That's where the yogurt came in.
Yeah.
A Kapha person can have a slower metabolism, so we have to support them to move their energy. I have a lot of Kapha people that once they sit down for the day when they get home, they will not get up. And I had a big Kapha tendency post kids, and I couldn't understand why once I sat down in my evenings I couldn't get back up to go do more work, more things. And so I really coach my guffas on finish your day and honor that you are the one thing at a time, loving, kind, giving, loyal friend person in your community. That is your template, and that is beautiful. And we don't all have to be crazy hustlers having three jobs and side hustles. Like there's a template called love and care, and that's really the guffa person. And so that's the brief explanation of the three doshas. But what's so powerful is if you know your template and you know which constitution you reside in, my job as a practitioner is to help bring you back to home. Because a lot of times we're not in our original constitution of birth, and that's why we don't feel like ourselves in our bodies. So that's the goal of Ayurveda.
So interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm listening to you talk about this, and I know I took a test years ago. I think it was, I heard Dr. Chopra talk about it. Chopra talked about it. Unless there's another Dr. Chopra, I'm sure there's lots of Dr. Chopras, to be honest. But the one I'm talking about,
Yeah.
and this was probably 20, 25 years ago. I remember taking an online test that he had. And like, I can see myself in both Pitta and Kapha as you talked about it, right?
For
And
sure.
I think, yeah, just so interesting. But I never thought about what an Ayurvedic practitioner could do for me. But you just said it's my job to help you come home. Did you say that?
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
So a lot of times when I sit with a client, either they had surgery and like gut got dysregulated and they went in this direction, or they got a surgery and they stopped working out, they don't feel like themselves. They had a life event that just changed things. You
Hmm.
could have life events that happen in your childhood that shift things, and you're not living in your original dosha from birth. And so I have the dosha quiz on my website. It's at drshivani.com. And I love when people email me back because I do see every email and they're like, how did you know that I am like that? And I'm like, I know because these are ancient wisdoms. I just get to teach it. Pittas are going to be a certain way. It's really fun.
That is really fun, I'd say. And I love these sort of different ways of looking at things. I bet you're at the point now, and you did touch on some of these things where you can see a person and
Yeah.
you know exactly what their dosha is.
Yeah, I can most of the time because sometimes it's physical, sometimes it's mental, sometimes it's emotional. Like you said, you could be physically kapha, mentally more pitta. And so then it's hard to tell. But yes, sometimes I can intuitively tell. Like I'll sit next to someone and I'll say, that's a vata energy. And I'll have to drop like an energy block between us because
Yes.
I'm a pretty grounded pitta and I do the work for that. And
Yeah.
I can't have someone like upturn my energy and move my energy too much. So
Mhm.
it's fun when you can sit next to someone and you're like, oh, I can feel your dosha.
Yep. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I because I'm a body worker, I
yeah,
get people's energies. And I remember years and years ago now, I put up how do we say this? A boundary in
yeah,
my office, in my clinic, for people to take responsibility for their energy.
yeah,
And if you don't have a grip on yourself, you are not welcome here. There is somebody else for you. I am not the person for you.
yeah.
And you know what's funny is since I put that up, honestly, I've had a couple of breaches, probably due to me needing a reminder to have my own personal protections around me.
Sure.
Because that's how we learn. Yeah, but just
I set it up so I do discovery calls. I'm like, everyone can have a free call. You just talk to me for 20 minutes and I will know if we should
yes,
work together and if I can even
yes,
help you.
yes,
80% of the time, I'm not even the practitioner. I'm like, actually, I built a supplement company and it's in hundreds of doctors' offices. I know the girl for you, or I know the guy for you.
yes,
And I just move them right along because I know if it's Cairo, you need a lot of people. I'm like, you actually just need to go to the chiropractor. You do
yeah,
not need me. You need my best functional medicine doctor. That's menopause with
yes,
mold. I'm
yeah.
not handling mold.
Ooh, that's a
So
nasty one right there. Yep,
it
yep,
is. It's a
yeah,
big
yeah,
deal. So I
yep.
think it's so important that we have the space to say, actually, let me give you the right person for you. It's not me.
Yes, I love that. Whoever the menopause with mold person is, I
Yeah.
just send you all the love and blessings and rapid
Yeah.
healing, but at a pace that your body can get. That's a
Yeah.
tough one. I had my own mold exposure in perimenopause, so I know all about
Me
that one.
too.
Oh, it's terrible.
This year, full on
Oh,
mold, full on leaky gut while
oh
managing
no.
perimenopause. I'm like, God, do you do this on purpose just so I learn? Because I'm
Yes.
good. I don't want to learn anymore.
No, it's those are the days that you go, God, do I look bulletproof? Because I'm not.
Exactly.
Leave my tight junctions alone.
Exactly. Exactly. Why do I have to fight for my tight junctions
I
again? I've already done that.
I know, it's crazy,
That's
isn't
why
it?
I'm so obsessed with gut brain, gut brain. If I don't have my
Yeah.
gut on point, I don't have my brain, and then I can't do any of this work.
Yes, I know. It's so important. I had my own experience with that in 2020 in the wake of the pandemic where like I just could not, my brain was not working.
Yeah.
And I was like, listen, I am my brain function. I can't do my work unless my stuff is connected,
You
right?
know, I felt that way last year, so that's why I hired an HRT doc. I was like, "Can you just fix me? I don't have
Yep.
time. I have no time to lose. Let's just
Nope.
optimize hormones. I'll optimize gut, and we will be all set."
And we'll be okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it took a lot of self-medicine in order to get that figured out. And I it's still an ongoing process, but I think for a lot of women, the whole thing just seems overwhelming if we, first of all, if they a lot of women don't know how to advocate for themselves because we've turned over health to doctors
Yeah.
and the doctors don't have the complete picture, right? And so I
Especially
had
not menopause.
no, hell no. I had a patient in the office with me yesterday who was new to me, and I could see she was uh, a softer energy.
Yeah.
And she told me that her mother told her to not ever rock the boat, do not question the doctor, don't do all the things, right? Now you can relate to that because
Can.
yes, as can I. There's a reason why
Yeah.
this show is called Not Your Mother's Menopause because I was always too loud with those things as far as my mother was concerned. I was shushed my whole life.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
I still am.
Yeah.
I'm married to a family of doctors, and they're always like, "Can you just stop with
You should
your,
just no.
natural Ayurveda,
Yeah.
turmeric does everything ideas?" I'm like, "Turmeric does do everything, and my PhD says so." And
Yeah.
I'll email you hundreds of files with studies
Yes.
organized by disease pathology, just
Oh,
to
I
show
love it.
you that in your system called PubMed with your colleagues, the
Yes.
data's there. And they're
Yes,
like,
it
"Oh
sure
my God,
is.
it's
It sure
crazy."
is. Right then, listeners, it's spring. The days are getting longer, and if you're anything like me, you're feeling that little nudge to shake off the winter cobwebs. And just like we might be tackling the clutter at home and washing walls and doing what my grandmother would have called spring cleaning, it's a brilliant time to think about a bit of spring cleaning for our bodies, too. Now, hands up. Who of you has a whole shelf dedicated to various supplements? Me too. Well, these days I've simplified things brilliantly with AG1. It's my little daily habit, and honestly, it helps me feel so much more energized as I embrace these brighter mornings. It's just one simple drink to support your digestion, your energy levels, and even our skin from the inside out. And because we're all busy bees, especially as we get out and about more in this lovely spring weather, the AG1 travel packs are an absolute godsend for staying consistent on those weekend getaways or busy work days. Now, when it comes to our health, we want something we can really trust, and that's why I choose AG1. With science backed ingredients and real benefits I can feel, AG1 makes it easy to support overall wellness every day. And that's why I've been partnering with AG1 for so long. AG1 is offering new subscribers a free $76 gift when you sign up. You'll get a welcome kit, a bottle of D3K2, and 5 free travel packs in your first box. So make sure to check out drinkag1.com/Fiona Lovely to get this offer. That's drinkag1.com/Fiona Lovely to start your spring on a healthier note. I'm delighted to have AG1 as a sponsor of the podcast. Remember, it's a foundational nutrition supplement, and I drink my AG1 every day to support my immune health. It's all part of feeling our best during this fabulous next chapter. All right, let's have the turmeric conversation. So, if a woman is showing up to this conversation and goes, I don't even know what they're talking about with turmeric, like start right from the basics, please.
Sure. So I love turmeric. When I was sitting in herbology class, the professor said, turmeric does all of this. And I thought, if it really does that, first of all, my family history would have changed. We would have had less death and destruction at the grandparent and parent level around diabetes, heart disease, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. Secondly, this sounds like my most perfect immune defense solution that I have needed my whole life. So I am down for understanding if this can do that. And so what I love is turmeric is anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, antiviral, antibacterial, and antifungal. Those are my favorites because when we talk about inflammation, curcumin from turmeric impacts these top pathways of inflammation that affect everything. It affects NF-kappa B, that's a master inflammation pathway. TNF alpha, another one, interleukin 6, and I have charts on all the pathways. So our systems are oftentimes inflamed, and that's why we're experiencing perimenopause at really tough levels of symptoms, menopause and beyond. But we're not addressing the root cause, which is the inflammation, and then we're chasing our tail. Like, even though I signed up for HRT, if you look at my blood work, I always have inflammation work to do. And that's because I live in a high stress time of my life. And that's okay. I signed up for this one thing I wanted to achieve, which was this book. But we have to constantly balance it. What I also love about turmeric is it's an antioxidant that reverses oxidation in the system. And we know that as we age, we're going to start to feel potentially like we're rusting. A lot of the symptoms women say they're feeling, women and men, joint stiffness, joint pain, brain fog, memory issues, digestive issues, IBS type symptoms, memory issues, everything just hurts and everything is slowing down. And so I always tell the women around me that's inflammaging. That's not
Hmm.
aging. You're not
Hmm.
meant to just go downhill at 30, 40, or 50. Yeah, if you're 75 plus, fine, I expect a slowdown. But before then, all of this is reversible and all of this can be completely erased, pretty much, in my opinion. And curcumin can play a powerful role there because it'll reverse the things that are causing the oxidation in the system.
Hmm.
Then, in addition, it's very gut supportive because it'll kill off the bad stuff in the gut, but keep the good keystone bacteria. It helps when we have leaky gut. It's a healing tool. It's anti-parasitic, anti-H. pylori, and anti-candida. That's a big deal. So it's like this ultimate janitor that just gets in there, clears out malignant cells and cells that don't belong, kills off zombie cells. So there's all sorts of crap running around in us trying to wreak havoc and cause damage. And curcumin's like, no, I'm here to clean house. I'm here to get the job done for you. So I love all of that about curcumin. I also love that when we talk about hot flash frequency, curcumin from turmeric can create a 50% drop in those symptoms. It also helps with total cholesterol and cholesterol issues that I see in a lot of people that rise during our menopause season of life. Helps with hot flashes, helps with night sweats. Those have gone down as well using curcumin. And so the fact that it can really ease a lot of the symptoms while also addressing the root causes to me is so profound. But what most people don't realize is out of the entire turmeric plant, only 3 to 5% is the curcuminoids. And so a lot of people tell me, yeah, I sprinkle turmeric on my chicken. Yeah, I take juice shots. It's great. And I'm like, no, no, no. Out of the whole plant, 3 to 5% is driving the result that we want. And I built a formula where to put that at a 500 milligrams dosage per pill with a very high dose of curcumin at the right proportion to mimic Mother Nature. That's how our body's going to receive it best.
Hmm.
And when you take therapeutic doses of curcumin, that's when you get the benefits of what I've been talking about. We can't just sprinkle turmeric on our chicken and expect profound symptomatic results for ourselves. So I love being part of the functional medicine world of supplements where we're building medical grade supplements. And a lot of people also say, I buy my supplements on Amazon, I buy them from
Mm.
Costco. And
Don't
I'm
do
like,
it.
don't do it, guys.
Don't do it.
You have no idea what's in it. Like,
Yeah.
it is scary. So many supplement companies like mine have put themselves on Amazon. Next day, there's a copycat, and you
Yeah.
don't know what's in the bottle. Even as
No.
the company, you're like, did they put wood pulp?
Yeah.
So I'm really obsessed with made in the United States, third party tested, pre, mid, and post production. I know my supplier in India. I've been loyal to him for 10 years. And I deliver a result that can change orthopedics, functional medicine, primary care. And in
Hmm.
this lifetime, I'm going to go after every single subspecialty of medicine. That's my dream, to show them how effective curcumin can be for their patients.
Okay, I love this. So let me break this down a little bit more. I want to tell a little quick personal anecdote. During that same COVID year was the year that I introduced the so-called Buddha's golden milk to my, which is a high dose turmeric
Yes.
situation, right? So, and I was amazed at how much the reduction of inflammation made a huge difference to how I was feeling every day,
Yeah.
just from that one supplement. And thankfully, it was easy enough to take. I understand from the Indian culture,
Yeah.
turmeric is used in food primarily as a colorant, not as a flavor so much. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely use it as a colorant. We even have red chili powders that are for color, not for chili, which I find so funny because we want the color in the food. My mom just taught me that, and I was like, that's so weird. Really? It's for aesthetics, not for efficacy. I don't even understand the logic of that. But yes, it is used as a coloring agent and it's used for the flavor. Both. Both.
Oh, interesting.
And
Okay.
it's used, but the flavor can get bitter, so you can't use too much turmeric.
Yes, I always found that if you've got, like, for example, if I when I wasn't using the right things to mix into the golden
Yeah.
milk, it had a very metallic taste to it.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Yeah, it
unpleasant.
can. It can. I once I sprained my ankle somehow and I just started high dosing my own product because I know you can take up to 8 grams a day of curcumin safely. The science says so. So I was like, I'm gonna play. So I started taking like
Yeah.
two inflammation, one turmeric gold, one turmeric gold, two inflammation release. And I was able to keep my swelling down and my pain down
Amazing.
significantly, just doing a high dose that day for every 4 hours. And then I left to go pick up my kids and I forgot my turmeric. So I stopped at my sister-in-law's and I was like, you don't have my product, but maybe I can just make turmeric and mix it in yogurt and like get it in and it'll work. It did nothing. I was like, see, I'm so validated
Interesting. Yeah.
that regular turmeric does nothing.
It
Ugh.
doesn't do it. Okay, when you said 8 milligrams of turmeric a day, I'm like, okay, if you're having that much turmeric a day, you're the worst thing that's gonna happen is you're gonna poop your pants.
Exactly. Yeah, you can do 8 grams a day, and people do that,
Wow.
but it's because they need to really hold down inflammation in a big way. But yeah, it'll cause GI upset for sure.
Yeah, yeah, but I'm sure it will. Okay, I have heard that in order for turmeric to be absorbed, you need
Yeah.
black pepper included. Is that true?
So there's Team Black Pepper and there's Team Healthy Fat. Both
Okay,
exist in the literature. What's
okay.
interesting is there's no real apples to apple studies. I want to fund that in my life and just know for myself what is true. I
Mhm.
am a Team Black Pepper person. So my formulas are built with black pepper. And I tell people if you want the healthy fat benefit, just take them with a meal so you get that benefit.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about how we build liposomal curcumins because I see people sit on supplements forever and liposomal can get rancid. So I don't have a comfort level going there yet. That's why I just
Mhm.
tell people to take it with food.
What's the deal with black pepper and turmeric? Tell me about the symbiosis there.
So I worked in the lab in Houston at MD Anderson Cancer Center in high school under the professor and researcher who discovered black pepper increases the absorption of turmeric by
Okay.
2000%. What's
Wow.
interesting is in the Indian culture, all of our main spices, we always use something called garam masala at the end. And
Yeah.
garam masala is just a good mixture of spices that has black pepper. So he was starting to prove that it's not just turmeric, but ginger. A lot of the things we do, black pepper will further increase the absorption in the body.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Interesting. Like the food is already built with the mindset needed.
Yes.
It's just we live in a society now that's so inflammatory. We have the toxin burden, cigarette smoke, environmental pollutants, stress,
Yeah.
leaky gut, autoimmune. The volume of what's going on is so high and so
Hmm.
loud. Regular tumor can't do what we need it to do like it used to. And
Hmm.
that's why we have to take the really potent therapeutic stuff and the adaptogens, like you talked about. It's a
Yeah.
holistic plan around full body support.
So this isn't just a matter of going to the bulk barn. Do we have bulk barns in the United States? Okay, maybe not. It's okay. We're not just going to the spice store and picking up some powdered turmeric and throwing it on top of our salad.
No, you can add turmeric to your life. It's totally fine. It has benefits, but not at the level we need in modern day times for the level of symptoms and issues we have.
Okay. Okay. And so you have a formula where you've figured out exactly how much you need to put in there and what things are in synergistic with it.
Yeah, I built two formulas. So I'm most known for one called Turmeric Gold. It's the turmeric to take on a daily basis. And
Hmm.
then I built one called Inflammation Relief. And I had a theory. I wasn't sure which one my orthopedic surgeons would use. I was like,
Hmm.
they'll probably go with the one that follows the science. It's clear. We have 17,000 scientific studies now on turmeric and curcumin and its impacts. Back
Hmm.
then it was 10,000. So that just shows you the exponential growth of the science and the fascination with how does turmeric do all this.
Hmm.
And then I built one called Inflammation Relief with all the Ayurveda herbs that address inflammation. So it's a synergy of herbs and a synergistic blend. And
Hmm.
so a lot of people who are like, I know I'm inflamed, they start there. If they need more support, they add on turmeric gold. And then that's become our combo. So I have tens of thousands of people who rely on it. And
Hmm.
that's how they stay out of pain on a daily basis.
That's amazing. Okay, we've talked about your supplements lots here. Where can people go and find them?
Sure. So my website for the supplements is fusionaryformulas.com, and I made a special code for your audience. Lovely will give them 15% off at Fusionary.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. We absolutely love that. Thank you very much. I remember hearing about turmeric. I think I was in my first year of practice about how somebody had looked at why the major inflammatory issues that Americans have are not as much of a problem in India per se,
Yeah.
and that the idea was that the curcuminoids were involved in this.
Yeah.
And that was really my first awareness of it. Thank God I've always enjoyed Indian food. So I should
Nice.
say, as an adult, I never had it until I was in my 20s, and I was like,
Yes.
I've been missing this my whole life.
That's awesome. Yeah, it
Yes.
has so many benefits. The food involves so many of the super spices. You're going to get fennel, turmeric, coriander, red chili pepper, cumin seeds. Like each thing has so much power in it. So I love when people pick up eating Indian food. I'm like, it's such a healing food
And
type cuisine.
delicious.
Yeah.
And for the most part, gluten-free,
Yeah,
which is
true.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
really easy. Chickpea flour is no big deal for someone like me who has the gluten issues. But, and
too.
we do talk about that on the show quite a bit, is
Yeah.
because there's so many of us that have food intolerances these
Yeah.
days.
I can't eat gluten at all. It's so
Mm,
bad. So I love Indian food, Mexican food, and Thai food because
mm.
then I'm fine. And
Yeah,
the minute I travel, I'm like, oh my gosh, can I go to Italy and eat the bread and not die? That's amazing. Okay. It still had, I went to Italy last year. It still caused some inflammation. I could tell
yep,
my gut wasn't totally happy with the idea,
yep.
but I could still eat it. So I inform
Interesting.
people all the time. I'm like, can you cut gluten? Can you cut sugar? Can you cut dairy for a short period of time? Test it for yourself. Can you
Hmm.
cut as much of the alcohol? Cut
Hmm.
the things that are problematic. Let's put in all the good,
Yep.
get the body to a healed state, and then you can go back to some of your habits.
Yeah, wow. I know that's we hang on to those things like even if they make us sick, we hang on to them. I'm on my way to France in a couple of weeks' time, and I'm so excited about what you just talked about because I'm
Oh,
pretty sure I should be able to consume a croissant. I have
yeah.
not had a croissant in 13 years.
Oh my God. Enjoy the heck out of
Oh,
it.
you know I will.
When I go, I'm like, oh my God, I can have pasta. I can eat bread brought to a table. This
Can
is
you imagine?
insane. I
Yeah.
love that. I go
Okay.
to
And
India. It's incredible. It's just so much fun.
is it the same? Do you figure? So here's what I understand: the EU does not allow the hybridization of the crops, and it doesn't
Correct.
allow for what we call Roundup Ready crops, which just so that there's no glyphosate that's being sprayed, etc. And
Correct.
so the theory is, and there's science, lots of science behind this, actually homegrown here in Calgary, Alberta. Yes, with the Children's Hospital here, was that the glyphosate is more of an issue than anything else in the hybridization of those grains. So because the European Union does not allow that, I think Russia is the other place that doesn't allow it. I don't know what the status is on India. Maybe you can fill me in on that, but that is, in theory, why we can
Yeah.
eat foods there that we can't eat here.
For sure. I think in India it is allowed, but there's a big movement since pandemic. India was really hit hard in pandemic. So there's a huge movement around organic and around taking back control of our milk, food, vegetables, everything. So there's a big focus. Every time I go, everyone's like, yeah, we're switching back to natural, organic, and homemade. I'm like, why did you
Perfect.
change
Yeah,
anyway, guys?
for
But yes,
convenience.
it's great.
Yes. Yeah, I love that. Okay, where can people find out more about you and your book and your supplements you've talked about? Like, just share where can they find you?
Sure. So my website is my name, shivanigupta.com. And there I'll have all the info on my book and pre-order for the inflammation code, which is an Ayurvedic guide for how you can use the super spices and lifestyle to win at inflammation. And
Love
I'm
it.
at Dr. Gupta on Instagram. And from there, you can find everything else that I post.
Fantastic. Well, I have learned so much in this conversation. I'm so grateful for you coming on the show and educating us about, oh, the super spices. I love that conversation. I'm going to go look and see what's in my pantry. What can I add? What do I need to go buy?
Yeah.
And, inflammation. I wanted to say this earlier. I'm going to say it now. The egress of estrogen. Estrogen is anti-inflammatory. And so this is a big reason why women have the symptoms that we do in perimenopause is because of the egress of estrogen. Also going up high, coming down low, going up high, coming down low, depending on where we are. And so what you're saying is you can use the Ayurvedic method to actually end the super spices to help mediate that.
Correct.
Oh,
Correct. And then
anything.
use it as an adjunct in menopause. Because we're going
So
to
good.
do the HRT, support ourselves in menopause. We want to stay anti-inflammatory, so use both toolkits.
Oh, of course, like all the things we can get to help, just like we
Yeah.
said with sleep, all the things.
Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Shivani Gupta, I have a question that I ask all my guests right at the end of the show, and we're at that place. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, knowing what you know now, what would you tell your younger self?
Wow. It's a big question.
I know. Have
I
fun
would
with it.
tell myself that you are not weak. You are not wrong. You are not the weakest link in the family. You're not broken, and you
Mm.
weren't built defective. You will see how to become so sovereign and so powerful and so strong and so grounded in your health, and you'll never question this again.
Oh, yes. That's not what we all want. Is
Yeah.
the wise, strong woman,
Yeah.
right? We got to stop.
Exactly.
Yeah, just the suppression of the wise woman is done with our generation. There will be no more of that.
I agree. And if we can just all be wise women and love each other, what a different world we'll have.
Exactly. Love and support the other women in the
Yeah,
community. The world will be a better place.
exactly.
Dr. Gupta, thank you for joining me on the show.
Thank you, Fiona, for having me.
The information and other content provided in this show, or in any linked materials, is not intended and should not be construed as medical advice, nor is the information a substitute for professional medical expertise or treatment. We are doctors, but we aren't your doctor. Seek your doctor's opinion. If you or any other person has a medical concern, you should consult with your healthcare provider or seek other professional medical treatment. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of something that you have heard in this podcast or in any linked materials. If you think you may have a medical emergency, call your doctor or emergency services immediately. The opinions and views expressed on this page and in this show have no relation to those of any academic, hospital, health practice, or other institution. Thank you.